Okay, this is a test recording to see if A, you can hear me, and B, if what I'm about to do is beneficial. One of the things that happens in our class is our instructors tend to go so fast that they gloss over things that they maybe just assume that we're supposed to know, and then we don't catch it maybe until the first or second or third time through, and it can be a big challenge. Like simple things like opening the Vmware, or knowing how to open SQL, or knowing that you have to have the database open before you open SQL, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go through and just kind of show you the steps to go through when you're opening your VMware, and how to get into your SQL, and how to spool on, which means set it up to record everything that you're doing and spool off, because that's how he wants us to turn in our homework. So here we go. You're at the desktop, your VMware player. You just open that, and everything takes longer than we think it should. And then over here, you're lit up on home here. Go ahead and select your Windows XP Professional, and then it will tell you the status. Mine is powered off, and then just tell it to play virtual machine. Hopefully, if you've got everything sorted out and you have a good recording, a good VMware and all this stuff on here properly from the class, then you shouldn't have any issues. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this window. And then literally we have a computer inside of our computer. That's what the virtual machine VMware does. It sets up a make-believe computer inside your computer. And this particular make-believe computer runs Windows XP, because we can't get the ALM software, UFT, SQL, and all this stuff, Oracle, on our regular desktop computers, because they're like server-size stuff. So still waiting for Windows to start up, and we are going to patiently do so. The first thing I'm going to do is try and open the SQL and see if we can connect, and then see if we can spool on, just to show you that. And I'm going to keep it short, because we only want to kind of learn one new thing at a time. If there's something in particular that you're not sure of that you want me to go over, you know, shoot me an email and say, hey, I need to know how to sign on as site admin. I need to know where to go to do XYZ. And then I can do like a short 3 or 5 minute video just to show that one thing, and then it'll be easier for you to learn without having to scroll through 10 hours of class recordings to figure it out. So here we are on our desktop, still loading. And you see everything that we have. We have the Get Started with Oracle. We have the username and passwords. And you may not know it, but inside username and password, if you open that up, you saw him type HRHR in the SQL. That's because the username for the SQL command line is HR, and then the password is HR. Just like with ALM, it was ABC, ABC. So that's why those passwords are there in the notepad. So we're going to go down here to where it says Run SQL or SQL command line. You can call it SQL or SQL. Right click and then open, or just double click, whichever you prefer. Alright, so here it is. If the database from which we are going to be pulling all of our information, you know, that employees table and all that stuff, if that's not activated, then you won't be able to connect, because there'll be nothing to connect to. But before you worry about trying to go and open your database, let's start here and see if you can connect, and then you won't have to worry about it. This is not case sensitive, so you can do uppercase or lowercase. Whenever I am doing commands or functions, I tend to use capital letters. So connect using our user word HR, and then it says enter password, which is HR. You will not see it when it goes in. Okay, it says Oracle initialization or shutdown in progress. What that means is I haven't waited long enough after opening my VMware software for the Oracle database to boot up. So basically that just means I have to sit here and cool my heels for another minute. So while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and go over to our real desktop. We're going to go over to the forum. And a lot of times if you go into the forum, like if you have it saved as a bookmark, once you click on it, it won't load. Just hit the reload button and then it will bring it on. There we are. And let's check and see if this week's lectures are on yet, which they probably are not, but we can always pray. So on the forum, under Invitation for Class by PIIT Instructors, go all the way down to the next to the last one here. It'll show you playback recorded classes. It'll give you instructions on how to watch a recorded class, no big deal. Now if you want to watch Saturday's class and Sunday's class, you can register to do that, and you can watch anything, it doesn't matter. But let's see if Tuesday's class is on. So you click on that, and then you click on playback of Tuesday's recorded class. And if you look here, it says this record link will be available until 6/23/2016. Well, today is 6/23/2016. That means this is the previous week's class, not last week's. This is the ALM class, and that means it's the class that was recorded on 6/14. That means that our classes with Mr. Hanif are not up yet. So the stuff for SQL is not up yet. If you are wanting to have this, you can actually play it and then record it so you can keep it forever and ever. But it's going to be gone at some point today, and then probably by tomorrow they'll have the next week's lecture. But we do not have this current SQL lecture series up yet. All right, let's try this again. And I am connected. So one thing we learned is very important. Open up your VMware and go get a cup of coffee or something. It's going to take about 5 minutes for it to properly boot up and for the database, which we are going to be pulling information from, to initialize. If you try and sign on before your database has initialized, which is the Oracle, then you're not going to be able to do so. So we are now connected to SQL. If you've never used SQL before, you're going to want to change the size of the text so that you can see it and work with it more efficiently. So there's one way to do that we were showed. It's a two-step process. First, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Whoops, I forgot my semicolon. Okay. Now, if you don't like the way this looks, and if it's too big or too small or not wide enough or what have you, then you want to go ahead and alter it so it looks better. And this is how we're instructed to do so. So you're going to go up here to where it says Run SQL Command Line, this blue bar across the top, and you will right-click on it. You will select Properties. And then you're going to see if the screen buffer size, whatever it's set to now, I've already done this, so I'm good to go. Whatever it's set to now, you want to change it so that the width is 400 and the height is 9,000. So 400 and 9,000, and that is under the Layout tab. You're going to go over to the Font tab, and you want to have the raster fonts and 12 by 16. That means each character is 12 screen pixels wide and 16 screen pixels high. And once you've changed that, or if it's already like that, you click OK. It says apply properties to current window only. Doesn't matter. You just click OK. You don't have to change anything. Now, that will not give you everything that you need. You still have to change your page size and your line size. And to do that, you will do that from your command line, which is right here. So you will use the command set page size, and then you're going to set the page size to 400, and then you're going to do set, whoops, you don't have to do this, but I like to. You're going to set the line size also to 400, and then enter. And now you hit, I'm going to show you what I did. Now, when you get it, it's not huge and all scrunched together and on two lines. Everything is a correct size, and you can scroll right and left to pick up all the columns. And it's much easier to see. What I did was, I didn't have to type in select everything from employees 2 times. Remember, I typed in select everything from employees the first time, and I got this. But when you want to redo the same command that you just did, which is select everything from employees, you hit a slash, and then you hit enter. And it repeats the last thing that you did. That saves you from typing. Alright, so that is how you open your SQL, you wait sufficient time for it to load the Oracle database, then you attempt to connect. Your username is HR, your password is HR, and then if you need to change it in order to get everything on your screen to look like this, you right-click, set your default, sizes under Properties using the Font tab and the Layout tab, and then at the command prompt, you're going to do set page size to 400, set line size to 400, and then you should be good to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording just to see if it worked, and if so, I will upload it or email it, and then we will carry on with actually learning some stuff.